This is a video over my IFAK that I have picked up over the weekend at a garage sale. As you can see, it is a military IFAK. It has been issued and has been used. Some of the components inside have been used, but you know what? So be it. They're all outdated anyways, and so anything that's outdated is probably going to get replaced by me. But when you go online and you look at these IFAKs, they are fairly expensive, and I don't blame them. I understand why they're expensive because the gear inside of it is usually quality gear. And since I work in the hospital, I know that a lot of medical equipment and the utensils that you use are very expensive. And that being said, this is no exception as to why it's expensive to buy a new one. Starting off, you can see that the buckle is red. Usually, all the military stuff is just, one standard color, and it's not kind of color-coded. And so a lot of guys like to put a red strap or tape or whatever to indicate like their med gear or whatever the situation be. They like to indicate it by different colors of tape. And so this guy that I bought this from, he just had some red duct tape wrapped around this buckle. And I decided, since the red duct tape just came right off, I would just go ahead and throw some red spray paint on it instead of duct tape. And so I went ahead and just kind of taped it off, and went like so, and cut, taped the bag itself off, and just threw some spray paint on it. That way, for the most part, it'll stay on there. It's plastic tape, and it's not going to come, or not plastic tape, but plastic spray paint, and so it should stay on there pretty good. It may get scratched up, but it's going to stay red generally. Anyways, you open it up and you just pull the contents out, and it's attached by a dummy cord, which can be taken off here or down here. But being that said, we'll go ahead and lay this off to the side because we don't need that. We'll just use this. And as you can see right on the side, it has a tourniquet. And he said that this tourniquet had never been used, that he used somebody else's, because the guy that I actually bought it from had been shot in the gut or side of the arm, and then he broke his arm at the same time or something like that. And so this tourniquet has never been used, but it has seen and felt the dirt of Iraq and Afghanistan. So you can just smell it. It smells like the dirt. Who knows? It could just be American soil, anyways. He could have done it here. But anyways, it came with a tourniquet. The tourniquets are pretty much are a great part of a first aid kit to start off with, and a great addition to a trauma kit. And that's exactly what a IFAK is. It's good, especially if you're going to go to the range and somebody accidentally gets shot or something like that. Emergencies happen where a doctor's not around, or somebody who knows has medical knowledge, and these are very very good to help out in the situation. But anyways, you pull the top up, and the little flaps just open up, and there could have been a couple more things in here, but for the most part, it has everything that these come with in here, okay? And that is an H&H bandage. This is just, compressed gauze. And there's no expiration date on this gauze. It's just, it says here, sterilized in North America, made in China. It's 4 yards long and 4 inches wide. And so there's quite a bit there. Especially to stop a wound from bleeding. So I'll keep this in here because it's how it is. This is, I can't remember the name of this one here, the Hemcon bandage. So kind of like a quick clot bandage. I do believe it's kind of got that the agent that will stop the bleeding. It is expired. That's the only thing. Like a lot of this stuff, except for this here, has expired, or the tape. it's expired and it's not gonna really affect the use, except for this here. But I just want everything to be updated. And this expired in 2010, so you know, it's 4 years overdue right now. But I'm pretty sure that this right here will still do its job. That's just what the industry suggests that somebody gets rid of it by, or uses it by. So got this Himcon bandage, and then the Israeli bandage, which I've been looking for an Israeli bandage anyways for a trauma kit. So I've got this one here, and this one expired in 2012. So it was sterile. It says sterile date March 2007 and expiration date in 2012. Made in Israel. So, you know, Israeli bandage. I like these. I've never used one. I like the concept of them, and I'm glad I finally got one. But it's probably going to be updated too. This is you know, the baggie of gloves that they all come with. This is exactly what they all look like. I mean, even the little white paint on the baggie here is falling off. And so I'm going to update these gloves with some of my own, and I'll show you what I'm going to put in this kit in a second. But then next is a nasopharyngeal airway. It's a 28 French. I think this is pretty much the standard airway they use, the military uses. And being that this is this old, this expired in April of 2012. And could you see why? I think it's been sitting in there for quite a while. And I really don't want to try to, I mean, it's going down your nose and into your throat. And so that's not going to bother me, but being that it's open, and had it been expired and unopened, it would be okay. But it is open, so I'm definitely going to replace that. And you can find these online for, you know, 10 or 15 bucks for a couple of them. And they're not really cheap at all for what they are, but if you had to use them, that'd be the cheapest thing in the world. Okay. And then this is just some Medline tape, which I want to replace this tape, but I can't find this cloth style tape right now anywhere, which I'm going to have to go online anyways and get some new. It's kind of beat up, but it's extremely tacky and very strong tape. And so I'm not going to get rid of it for now. I'll go ahead and keep it there. But since I'm not military, even though I want the same gear they've got, I'm going to kind of update it with my own civilianized gear. Some utility shears, which are just like EMT shears. These are from a store called Menards. These are $1.50, I think. They're just as good as your everyday EMT shears. I use them all the time in my work. Where I work at, I work in a hospital. I use these all the time, and they cut clothes right off. They cut bandages, and the standard I've seen for EMT shears is that if they can cut a coin, like a penny or a dime, then they're good quality, and these suckers will bite right through that with no problem. So I'm going to have these in addition to the IFAK, okay? And yes, you trust the old feminine project. 2 tampons. Don't know where my wife got these. She doesn't know either. But you have a bullet wound that's, I guess, the size of a .50 caliber, because these are huge. I'm gonna have to get some smaller ones anyways. But these will work for now. You stuff that in the bullet wound, and it will definitely stop the bleeding. Or let's hope. You can't smell. Dang. They smell like fresh roses. Fresh roses. Goodness gracious. I have this little, you know, for the minimal things if I'm out shooting. And like I said, this isn't going to be a first aid kit because I have a first aid kit in my range bag anyways. You know, with band-aids and stuff. But I'm gonna go ahead and toss this little purple piece in there. It's got a little tray in the bottom of it, has some band-aids. I'm gonna put some Tylenol and Aleve and ibuprofen and everything in here, just in case, you know, if somebody was to get shot or something, you know, wounded out at the range, or if I actually had to use this for what it's made for. If they did get shot, toss them some Tylenol or something that's going to take the edge off a little bit, I think. Obviously no narcotic drug, because I don't have a prescription for it, so I don't want to get caught with that. But, you know, that's that way. And speaking of the gloves, I'm going to be updating these gloves, especially from these, because I think these are just fine, but they've been in there for quite a while, being that this was expired in 2010, so it's been at least 2010 that this IFAK was used, or, you know, had opened. So I'm going to replace with some just nitrile exam gloves. These are, you know, your industry standard gloves. These are mediums, they're going to be a little smaller. They're non-latex gloves, and non-latex are a good thing to do because you never know when somebody has a latex allergy. And the last thing you want to do is have somebody who has got a gunshot wound or fallen or something like that, broken arm, skin's open. You don't want that skin getting exposed, or the flesh getting exposed to latex if they got an allergy to it, because that'll just right then that's where it's gonna go bad for the person. And like I said, I work in the hospital. I see it all the time. They don't tell us they have a latex allergy, and occasionally we do have latex gloves that we have, latex bands that we use, heck, rubber bands at that. And they don't tell us, and they have an allergic reaction to it. So I want to put these in there. I want to put 2 sets of these, and then I've got these heavy-duty tires. These are Venom Steel latex gloves. The industrial gloves, much thicker and heavier duty. As you can see here, I'll just take this, and as you can see, these pop right through. Okay, see how thin that is? Now these gloves, they will tear and everything, but generally they're much thicker. You can already tell how thick they are. They are black, obviously, but they're not gonna poke through right away. And I'm using about 4 times the strength I did on the Miller gloves. I left a little dimple there, if you can see that. But I mean, they're very thick gloves. I want to use them for wounds. I'm going to put them on all my bug out bags. But as you can see there, a comparison as to what gloves they are much thicker. And I'm going to also put some of these in there. I'll probably put 2 sets of these in there too. So, anyways, that is a quick video on my IFAK, and when I finally get to purchasing my nasopharyngeal airways, and if I can find any more of this, because this HemCon bandage says on the bottom, caution, U.S. federal law restricts this device's sale or buy, or it says sale, buy, or on the order of a physician. So a physician has to obviously order this for some reason. I'll have to look into that. But I'm going to buy a new Israeli bandage. I'm not worried about it being expired, but I'm just going to get a couple new ones, a new cat, and I'm just going to update it. And, you know, obviously an IFAK, like I said, buying them new can be anywhere from $50 to $150, $200 with the quality gear. And I'm sorry, it don't matter what kind of gloves you have, as long as you have gloves, a pair of, you know, good scissors, as long as they cut. Keep them in there. Some tampons. This is a good addition. The military didn't issue tampons. Tylenol and everything. It's all going to be good. A good addition to the IFAK. So, thanks for watching this video. I'm going to have more coming soon. See you later.